Okay guys, we are back on the boat. I know you love these videos, so I want to give this back to you because something I saw today on the way out here, you know how clear the water was before, right? And how dirty it got? Look at this. Amazing how clear it is. We were in 6 feet of water a moment ago and clearly see anything. Drop a cell phone, it's right there. You don't have to wonder where it is. Anyway, this is not what the video is about, but I know that it's very important to share this part of life here too, because this is why a lot of people come here. Florida is basically littered with water all the way around. Obviously we're in Southwest Florida, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 things you must know if you're planning on living in Florida. We're getting after that next. All right guys, so we've been through this before. There's a lot of things that can be pointed out as negatives. You've heard them before. We're not going to get a lot into climate and all that kind of stuff because we know it's a warm place. It's humid. It can be comfortable in the winter months. It can be uncomfortable in the summer months. We get that, right? So we're going to move on to more specific things that we Floridians pay more attention to because we deal with it every year. First one is love bugs. If you haven't gone through a love bug season, look out. That's a fun one. If you want to talk about total frustration and trying to clean something that just won't come clean, yeah, that would be love bugs. I'll give you a small tip. WD-40 is one that works to get it off. Another one is laundry sheets for, you know, the dryer sheets. Wet that, it'll scrub right off, rinse it off, you're good to go. But if you've seen some vehicles and some major love bug coverage, this is a huge undertaking. If you've got kids, perfect. You'll have plenty of little workers because you're going to need them. All right, guys, another thing that is very specific, and again, we're not going in order here. I'm not going to name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You kind of get it. We're going to the next topic. There are 10 of them, though, so stick around if you want to hear them all. But the second one is public supermarkets. And there's one thing in particular, if you're a boater, that you absolutely have to know. And that is a pub sub. If you've never had a pub sub, I'm going to introduce you. Here it is. Well, this one happens to be a wrap, but these things are absolutely amazing, very well known. Boar's head meat is one of your choices. You can do the generic if you don't want the boar's head, but I will recommend one thing to you because when I went in today to get this to come out on the boat, there's a lot of people doing the same thing. So there was a line there when we went in to get the food. Here's the funny thing. If you call ahead or go online ahead, order your sub, get your fixings exactly the way you want. In fact, they ran out of the whole wheat wrap. So what I end up with? Spinach. They called me to get the order straight before making it so that when I get there, I'm not having to wait for them. Anyway, you'll see here, we just rolled in. There's a section they put your food in, your name's on it, your phone number, all the contact stuff. Pick it up. I happen to pay when I get to the store because we had to get ice and some other things. But you can pay ahead if you want, so your wait will be even shorter. But we literally walked in, grabbed the food, and walked out. It was quick, seamless, and we know it's going to be delicious because we've done this so many times. So, public supermarkets, another thing about them aside from the pub sub, which I obviously love, very fresh produce compared to some of the other places. Farmer Joe's might be the only other one that's comparable. Outside of that, Publix is just kind of everywhere. You literally can't go to a section of town without finding one. So, public supermarkets. Okay, the I-4 corridor, I'm going to speak to this briefly. As you know, I am in Southwest Florida. I am not up where I-4 is. I-4 runs between Tampa and Orlando, but I can tell you, the years that I've gone up there to the parks and things like that, it is a shit show, literally. If you drive I-4 at any given time, you might as well count for double your time, and in some cases triple. I was riding a motorcycle up there one time, and I can't even remember where we were going, but ended up having to jump off of I-4 and take all these back roads. It didn't seem to make sense because we didn't know where the hell we were going, but I guess it was more of an adventure, and it got us off of this hellhole of a place that you have to deal with. Sitting in this traffic in that area is not ideal. So I would recommend avoiding I-4 if you can, but that's what you're going to run into if you're going to the Disney parks. It's right off of I-4. All right, so here in Florida, this is our next topic, flip-flop culture. Yes, it's a true and real thing. I am obviously in real estate, and for many, many years coming into this, I literally was in shorts, polo, and flip-flops. That's a uniform. James, he runs his water sport company here. He says the same thing. He's literally in flip-flops all the time. Many, many business people here are in flip-flops. That's just what it is. It's what's comfortable for us. The weather is always going to fit in to allow that. And we're going to talk about real quick in a few moments about the sand here in the area. When you're dealing with sand, flip-flops are the best. You kick it right out and move on. Little did I know sand was the next thing on the list. So we're going to talk about that right now. First thing to know, you may think of sand at the beach, right? That's the place you always know it. We know it everywhere. It's not just at the beach. Literally in my backyard, when the grass starts to get beat up a little bit, this happened to come about because of a dog staying with me, kind of tore the area up. Every time that dog would come in, and it's about a 65-pound dog, every time it would come in, it would drag the sand in my house. It was infuriating because I couldn't stop it. So I put the rugs out to kind of stop it, and it did work. But the point of this is, our land is sand-based. Sand is literally everywhere. So if you're somebody that doesn't like it getting stuck to you and being all over everything, you might want to get used to that or find a way around it, because it's gonna happen. All right, I did say we weren't gonna talk too much about weather, so I'm gonna make this brief. Afternoon thunderstorms. Yes, it will happen throughout the summer. It's going to be intense. Sometimes it can feel literally like a tropical storm because it's that intense. The lightning can be ridiculous. The thunder, it's going to scare the dogs. It's going to scare the kids. It's intense. We have lightning alarms, and anybody who wants to challenge me on this, I'm guaranteeing, because I live right next to a park and a school. I hear these alarms all the time. They'll sound when the lightning is within 10 miles of you, and they'll sound when it leaves within 10 miles of you. So you'll know when the kids can be in or out, when they can be in the pool, but it's a real thing. Lightning alarms, listen for them in the summer months. Hurricane preparedness. All right, well, everybody knows about hurricanes, right? Hurricane Ian especially. We had a hell of a one with that, didn't we? But preparedness is one thing, overreaction's another. Some people, as soon as they see a spaghetti plot up on the TV, they start putting their shutters up and they go stock up at the store. All right, that might be overkill. We're talking 7 days away. Even if it's 5 days, 4 days, that's still a very long time. You start making decisions right around the 2-day mark, because that gives ample time to still put shutters up, still get stuff at the store. Supplies are not that terribly restricted if you get there in that time frame. If you wait for the last 12 hours or the last 24 hours, all right, now you're putting yourself in a position you might not find anything. And we're talking about gas for generators. We're talking about, again, plenty of water. Here's a tip for you, because I messed up on this. When you buy foods that are canned foods that you want to be able to last longer, buy stuff you're going to use on a regular basis normally in your life, and not just stuff to fill that time, because guess what? The expiration dates will pop up and you'll be like, I didn't use it. Well, that's because I don't use it any other time outside of a hurricane. Gator safety, I don't think we need to talk much about this. We know gators are here. We know that they can be in your space. I will say, in my 25 plus going on 30 years of being here, I've never had a gator infringe upon my space. If I ever saw one, it's because I went into his space. Whether it was at a golf course, Myakka State Park, if you want to see a ton of gators stacked on each other, go there. Anywhere in the Everglades, yes, water, any type of water, you can certainly find them. But once again, if you don't go looking for them, you probably aren't going to find them. Winter for us is relative. And what I mean by that is, we're in December, right? There's a lot of people that have snow. Do you see any snow? Do you see any snow? Yeah, neither do I. That's why I'm here. This is paradise. It's low to mid 80s today. Very, very slight breeze. Obviously tons of sunshine. I gotta kind of get some color back. It's been a few weeks since I've been on the boat, so I'm getting pretty white here. But this is the place you go. I am not getting in the water. This water, as beautiful as it looks, it's also 67 degrees. So that is not touching my skin if I can avoid it. Now, barring some kind of emergency, I'm hoping to stay completely dry today. All right, and this one is really gonna hit home. It's just starting. And today was another kick in the teeth of what this means. Snowbird season. It is, for us who live here year round, it's frustrating. I come to grab the boat to come out here, and every parking spot in the parking lots around the marina were taken. That's never the case. There's always open spots, but now you can't get parking. If I'm gonna go to dinner, I need to know if there's any more than 2 people, I'm waiting at least an hour. 2 people, sometimes you can get away with 30 minutes. But you're waiting for any type of dining in the area unless it's a hole in the wall that nobody wants to go to, which then I would recommend not doing. But the other thing that's gonna happen is traffic gets really thick. Not all the plates are gonna be out of town anymore. Because remember, all these people that are moving into our state, they changed their vehicle to Florida. So if you see somebody driving really suspiciously, like really slow, seems like they're kind of watching everything on the sides, I'm gonna bet anything. If you roll up and roll down your window and ask them if they're from here, they're gonna say no. That's a snowbird. All right, guys, so this was all about the 10 things that you must know if you're considering living in Florida. And we laugh about much of this because it's not serious. It's not something that's gonna ever keep us from living here. There's no way I'm ever gonna move out of this state for these things. Absolutely not. So if you're looking to live in a piece of paradise, don't have to jump a cruise ship, don't have to fly in a plane, but just walk out your door, jump in a car, jump in a boat, and get out to this, what more can you ask for? If you have any other questions, check out one of these other videos. And as always, if they're not answering your question, do what everyone else is doing. Call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.